sounds in the Google, so I was wondering whether it is something else.
Mr. Saravana Kumar.
இனிய மாலை வணக்கம்.
YouTube streaming, okay? Okay, yeah, recording also we can start. Okay, so we'll start. Greetings and good evening to one and all. On behalf of the organizing units, Computer Society of India Chennai chapter, IEEE Computer Society Madras, ACM Chennai chapter, I extend a warm welcome to our eminent speaker, Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani, members and colleagues from the organizing units and distinguished delegates who have joined the Google Meet meeting and those who are watching through YouTube streaming of today's webinar on classical ragas in Tamil music and technology in music. Music fascinates and attracts everyone. This month of December is special to music events. People from all over the world make it a point to synchronize their visit to Chennai, the cultural capital of India, to enjoy the numerous musical events. We had also taken a step to organize an event related to music and technology to coincide with the music season at Chennai. Additionally, we want to state that our activities for the year 2022 will be a subject of general interest, and today's event is going to be the last event for the year 2022 for us. We look forward to serving you with more and engaging events in 2023. Today's session aims to provide an introduction to the basics of Carnatic music and how it is applied in Tamil film music, how each raga is handled by various music directors, as well as how the one single raga is handled in different manner by a single director will also be discussed in this session. This session will include few video clips of songs. One can find comparison how the same raga is handled by Tamil music as well as in Hindi film world. The participants at the end of this session can figure out the technique of identifying the raga of any music using film music as a reference. The speaker will also brief on his experiences in using the IEEE system to identify various ragas. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the speaker, Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani, the founder and CEO of Jignyashika. Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani comes with 40 years of experience from multiple industries. Currently, he is the founder and CEO of Jignyashika, from where he offers training and consulting services. Dr. Sundararaman speaks and trains people on business storytelling, design thinking, power of creativity, presentation skills, public speaking skills, apart from his domain of oil and gas and information technology. Dr. Sundararaman likes Tamil literature and is an avid reader of Tamil books. He has reviewed books for popular Tamil writers in his blog. He is a lover of Carnatic music and written several blog posts on Carnatic music. In 2005, he had published a book titled Ragas Chintamani that covers the classical aspects of Tamil film music. The book covered 1,800 Tamil film songs that are classified under 160 ragas. The book got sold over 1,500 copies. Dr. Sundararaman has come forward to share a book chapter and few trivias from his book as a teaser content to sustain the interest of the participants. We are thankful to Dr. Chandrasekharan, the CEO and founder of Info Career, a music enthusiast, for sponsoring today's event. With these few words of introduction to the subject, about the presentation and the introduction to the speaker, I request Dr. Sundararaman to take over the floor and deliver his presentation and enlighten us on the Tamil music and various Carnatic ragas. Over to Dr. Sundararaman, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mohan, for that wonderful introduction. So actually, as Mr. Mohan mentioned, long time back, probably in 2005, I have come out with this book, Ragas Chintamani. So the origin of this book is interesting. So most of the Carnatic music lovers always try to identify the ragas. So even when the raga is not known to them, so especially film music. So at least 2 decades back, most of these songs were having Carnatic music background, and people try to identify what is the raga. And sometimes they also use these cine songs as a reference point, so that they are able to raga of any other similar raga-based song in Carnatic music. So that is how I have come out with the book. I will again tell more about this book a little later. So now let me give some basic introduction about the Carnatic music. For some of you who have already undergone a course on Carnatic music or the basics, it may be a little redundant. I request you to bear with that, but it can definitely be a refresher or a kind of reiteration. So let me try to share my screen. Yes, I'm able to share my screen. My screen, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Okay. So when we talk about Indian classical music, predominantly it comprises of 2 genres. One is the popular Carnatic music. So from where you are able to identify several composers, and it is almost 1,000 years old, more than 1,000 years old. So starting from Devaram, Tiruvasagam, where most of the songs are based on Bhakti movement. So it was not a structured concert kind of thing. But then after that, then we had Purandara Dasa from Karnataka, then Tyagaraja, then we had the Muthuswami Dikshidhar, and such kind of people from Tanjore. So basically, the kings from the Tanjore belt, they supported the musicians, and that is where the music world flourished, and that is where we had a lot of songs in a structured manner called kirtanas or kritis, so which had Pallavi, Anupallavi, and Charana. Basically, each one will have a kind of grammar. I'm not going in depth on the grammar aspect of it, but in the last 50 to 60 years back, the concert music has got some kind of structure. So otherwise, earlier it used to be most of the songs used to be hymn kind of stuff. So only based on pure bhakti, people will keep on singing primarily in front of the Lord temples. But then the concert music come into practice in the last 100 years. So primarily people started singing in front of the kings in the court, and once the kingdoms are abolished, then they started coming and performing in front of the audience, the music lovers, which are called the Sabha, the concept of Sabha. So each, instead of the kings, the rich people started supporting such kind of sabhas, and that is where the music started evolving. And so next to the Tanjore belt, Chennai started picking up this one, primarily being the capital city of the entire state. And so a lot of sabhas have started coming in place. One of them, the Sri Parthasarathi Swami Sabha, is more than 100 years old. Then we have the Madras Music Academy, Nardhagan Sabha, and if you see the last decade, so definitely more than 100 sabhas will be there in Chennai. And in fact, during the Chennai music season, the number of concerts are really overwhelming. So that is a little bit of background about the Carnatic music. Then we also had the Hindustani music. The genre of Hindustani music is slightly different. So though the other, what is that, basic characters like ragas, alapan, then gamakas, they are all common, but still the way the Hindustani music is performed is different, because most of the time the Hindustani songs, the Hindustani music is performed in a court. For example, Akbar's court, King Akbar's court, Tansen was one of the greatest singer. And here people used to render the ragas for several. They take one raga and then they almost sing for an hour. So primarily the idea is to impress upon the audience with one single raga. But combining together both the Carnatic music as well as Hindustani music, both of them had some kind of uniqueness compared to the Western music. Any idea what is that uniqueness of Carnatic music? You can make a guess even if you don't know the answer. Any guess? Indian classic music. Would anyone like to make an attempt? Okay, let me reveal the answer. So the answer is the uniqueness of Indian classical music is manodharma, so which is nothing but spontaneity. So of course, the musician on three different aspects. So one is the raga alapana, where he will be only elaborating the raga. So there will not be any specific phrases. So before the kriti is performed, for example, he will sing the raga in different variations for almost 5 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on the kind of audience or depending on the kind of concert. So here no phrases are used. Then we have something known as Neraval. So they try to they use this phrase and then they try to embellish the raga. And then we have something known as swaram singing. So again, the swaram means the swarams attached to that particular raga. So all these are called spontaneous aspect of Carnatic music or Hindustani music. But this will not come. This will not happen on the days on that particular day. It comes basically with the practice, several years of practice. For example, 10 to 15 years of practice. Then they will be able to handle this kind of ragas in a spontaneous manner. That is why if you attend a concert of a popular musician, for example, if you take Unni Krishnan or Nitya Shri Mahadevan or M.S. Amma, even if they sing the same song in two different concerts, 2 different days, each one of them will be a little unique. So that is why people throng to the concerts. Of course, today we have a lot of YouTube videos, audio tapes are there, but still people like to go and attend the concert because they get a different kind of perspective on that particular day. And again, the ambience also gives a different kind of atmosphere. So they get the positive vibes when they are listening to the concert along with like-minded people. And actually, one of you have asked a question: why December? So there is a reason. So actually, if you compare the English month of December, it is aligning with the month of Margadi. So by December 15th, the month of Margadi starts. Margadi, auspicious month for Hindus. So in fact, even people used to say that Lord Krishna says that he is calling himself as Madangalil non Margadi. So Margadi is supposed to be one of the best months suited for all the devotees. So for example, on Lord Krishna, we used to chant Tiruppavi on all the 30 days of Margadi. Same manner, on Lord Shiva, we have something known as Tiruvembavi. So this is how people used to take Nahar Sankirtan or Bhajan at the early morning. By 5 o'clock, they used to go around the temple, so which may take 1 hour or 2 hours. So actually, the weather used to be very pleasant. So as you all know, India is a hot country. So only during the month of December and January, we have some kind of pleasant weather. So and that is where people started having the Sabha concerts. And incidentally, during December month, a lot of Rasikas, so whether they are Indians or non-resident Indian or the foreigners, they get vacation during the annual, the end of the year. So they used to come here. So that is why December is chosen as the month for music season. And with that kind of introduction, let me get into the basics. Okay. So primarily the Indian music is composed of several ragas, and each raga is composed of several swaras. Swaras is nothing but particular sound note with a specific frequency. So basically, there are 7 swaras available, and even we have these corresponding swaras are available in Western music also. So I am not going to dwell upon the Western music because I am not knowledgeable enough to talk about that subject. But wherever possible, I'll try to give some kind of equivalence. So basically, if you see here, I think most of you are familiar with the swaras sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. Sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. So basically, the sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni is just an acronym of the swara names. For example, sa stands for shajam, and ri stands for rishabam, and ga stands for gandharam, and ma is madhyamam, pa is panchamam, and da is daivatam, and ni is the nishadam. And each one has got a different kind of frequency. And if you see the pattern, sari, gama, padani, they are all in ascending order. Starting from 240 hertz to up to around 430 hertz. So of course, the number varies depending on the school of thought, but more or less they are same. And if you see here, there are two swaras which do not have any variation. For example, Sajjam and Panchamam, they don't have any variation. So, for example, if I can give an English, what is that chemical analogy? So you have something known as isotopes. So here we don't have any isotopes. So only whereas constants are there. So that is Sajjam and Panchamam. So they are called Adhara Shruti. So if you want to start singing, you should know the Adhara Shruti. And normally at the beginning of the concert, the musician will try to say Sapasa. So even when you go to your guru, so the very first activity the guru will ask you to do is sing Sapasa. For example, Sa, sa, sa. So the very first sa is the base sa, and the other one is called the upper sa. So the sa is, both are constant, but two different scales are there. So once you start fixing your sapa, then you know at what shruti you are going to sing. So this is very much essential, and you can choose your shruti according to your convenience. Generally, male singers have different kind of shrutis, female singers have different kind of shrutis, and generally it is once it is set, they don't change the shrutis. But sometimes if their throat is not cooperating, vocal cords are not cooperating, they change the shrutis. Similarly, the music instruments, the instrument technicians, the instrument artists, they also have their own shrutis. For example, a flautist will bring at least a dozen flutes. So depending on the shruti, sometimes for a specific piece of what is that in the concert for a particular piece of a song, he will select a different shruti and sing. So that is what it is primarily based on the convenience. So primarily, all the ragas comprise of these kind of swaras. Then later, you see, then you can find a different kind of. I already mentioned about the sapa, sapa, sa, the other basic shrutis. Then when you start completing this, so for example, sarigama padani, then sanidapa magarisa. So that completes the cycle. So that is how we sing. That is how we start having a complete scale, because some phrases in the song has to be sung in upper ascending order. Sometimes we have to come in descending order. So we need to practice both. So that is why this complete. This is an what is that? This is called aroganam and avaroganam. Aroganam is nothing but the ascending order. Avaroganam is nothing but the descending order. So almost you can see the symmetrical pattern of what we have seen in the previous slide. So this is the basic 7 notes, 7 swaras, and again the descending order. Then we also have variations for certain swaras. For example, if you take Rishabham, Gandharam, Madhyamam, Daivatam, and Nishadam, so all these will have slight variations are there. So they are covered here. For example, Rishabham itself, we have something known as Suddha Rishabham and Satshruti Rishabham. So basically, they are different frequencies. Then we have Sadharana Gandharam, Suddha Gandharam, Sadharana Gandharam, and Antara Gandharam. Then in Madhyamam, we have Pradimadhyamam and Sadharana Madhyama, Suddha Madhyama. Then Daivatam is divided into Suddha Daivatam, Satshruti Daivatam, and Chatushrudi Daivatam. Then when we come to Nishadam, Suddha Nishadam, Kaisika Nishadam, Kakalika Nishadam. So these are all the different variations of these 5 swaras. So except Sapa, all others have kind of variations. So with when we have such kind of around 17 notes are there, 17 swaras are there, it is possible to come out with so much of variations, permutation and combinations. So a raga consists of a pattern of swaras. For example, out of the 17, if you start selecting some 5 or 6, then it forms a raga. Of course, that is the layman's definition. So that is called the scale instead of calling it a raga. For example, let me explain. So for example, Re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. This raga is known as Maya Mala Gaula. So Maya Mala Gaula is the raga that is taught to any child or any novice student in the first class. So that is the easiest raga that can be adopted. And whatever I sung is just a scale. As I said in the very first slide, so the scale is not a raga as per Indian music definition, because in Indian music we have something known as a gamaka. So the scale is just a straight line, right? So when I sung sa re ga ma pa da ni sa, they are all called flat notes, but actually you are supposed to sing like this. Ga ma pa da ni sa. I guess you are able to appreciate the difference between how I sung before and now. So now there is a glide, or sometimes the glide will not be uniform for every syllable. It will vary, and there are these glides are known as gamakas. Gamakas are nothing but the what is that? The smooth curve. If you start having a graph of all the whatever we are sung, so suppose if you see it in an electronic what is that, monitor, so it will not be a straight line or just an inclined line with the sharp edges. So it will be with a little bit of curvical in nature. It will have a lot of curves. So these curves are known as gamakas. And again, under the gamakas, we have 10 different varieties of gamakas, which are known as Dasavita Gamaka. And all these things will be taught to the advanced school students. So right now, as a basic learner, just if you understand the concept of gamakas, that should be fair enough. So as I said, scales give the structure to the raga, but on top of the scale, only when you apply gamakas, it gets the raga swarupam, or it takes the Indian form of music. Okay. Now this is an exhaustive list of swaras. So with this kind of permutation and combination, and different kind of ragas can be structured. And let me also quickly, before getting into the different kind of ragas, I'll also talk about, give an idea about a keyboard. So if you take a keyboard or an harmonium, so if you see here, the very first, what is that, the black, what is that, key? The key is the, refers to the sajja, that is sa. The next one is called re. And in between this, there you can see a black one. That black one is a variation of re, and variation of ga, and variation of ma. So sometimes there are certain ragas where you will not have any variation of these rishabams, gandharams, and madhyamams. So whenever you have these suddha madhyamams, so that they are all a set of ragas. There are some ragas where we'll have a variation of the madhyama called pratimadhyama. They are called pratimadhyama ragas. So this is how ragas are classified into different categories. So as I said earlier, Maya Mala Gaula has got 7 notes, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. So like that, every major ragas has got 7 notes. So does it mean that here I have mentioned, I also, if you see the pattern here, Sarigama Padani. And again, we start with Sarigama Padani. Again, for the third time, we have something known as Sarigama Padani. So what does it mean is, so here the middle one is the normal one we generally sing or play. So which is called Madhyama Kala, Madhyashruti, Madhyama Shruti. Then the bottom one, the lower octave is known as called Mantra Saptak or Mantra Sthai. So generally, for sometimes, most of the time we will play around here between the Madhyama Shruti, and sometimes we go down and sometimes we go up, Taras Sthai or Taras Saptak. So that is how the keyboard has got many keys. So though we call as 7 keys or 17 keys, but if you see a keyboard, you will have any number of keys. And when we talk about the formation of ragas, as I said, with different kind of permission. For example, Maya Malakola has said the 5 Rishabham, Gandharam, Madhyamam, then Daivatam, Nishadam, they have one particular variation. And when you change the Rishabham, for example, instead of what is this? Instead of Suddha Rishabham, if you replace it with the Satshruti Rishabham, then the different kind of ragas will be appearing. So that is how we are able to get 72 ragas. These 72 ragas are known as Melakatta ragas. And why the 72 ragas are important is the 72 ragas have got all the 7 notes. Only thing, each raga has got different varieties of these 5 swaras, right? Except Sa and Pa, the other swaras can take different variation. So by that, by different combinations, we get 72 ragas. And these are all codified in the last 100 years by people. People start analyzing. There is a person called Venkata Makin, who has come out with this classification. And he has said that, for example, it is something like a periodic table, right? So when you see the periodic table, you will be able to find out the pattern. And even sometimes scientists have guessed there is a gap here. And I think there is an element. And based on that, they try to find out what is that element. And then that particular element takes the name of that particular scientist. So like that, these people have started compiling all these ragas and then try to understand the pattern of the swaras and finally come out with a codified chart known as Melakatta chart. So here you can see 72 ragas, and the first 36 are known as Suddha Madhyama ragas, and the second one is known as Pradimadhyama ragas. And again, here if you see 1, 2, 3, every 6 ragas they have clubbed. So every 6 ragas based on certain patterns they have clubbed, and they are given some kind of name and nomenclature. So for proper identification, they are given a nomenclature. I will explain it in the next slide. And as you see here, the Ri, Ga, Da, Ni. So only these things are varying. So the Ma is varying. The only variation for Ma is either it will be Suddha Madhyamam or Pradimadhyama. So that is why the table is divided into 2 sides, Suddha Madhyama and Pradimadhyama. And already I said Sa and Pa are constant. So taking 3 out of 7 notes, the remaining variations are possible only with Ri, Ga, Da, and Ni. So that is what mentioned here. And based on that, each raga will get a different kind of name. And by changing the swaras, they get a different name, and the color and the mood of the raga also varies. And again, if you see here, the same chart is represented as a known as a chakra. This is called the Melakatta Raga Chakra. So again, this is a fantastic way of representing ragas in a more user-friendly manner. For example, the 72 ragas are divided into 12 chakras: Indu, Netra, Agni, Veda, Vana, Rishi, Vasu, Brahma, Disi, Rudra. And it is a little easy to identify if you know Sanskrit. For example, some of them I am able to recollect the equivalents. Netra means eyes. So how many eyes we have? 2 eyes. So then the second chakra is known as Netra. And how many Vedas are there? There are 4 Vedas: Rik, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. So Veda is 4. Then Disi means directions. There are 10 directions. So the 10th chakra is known as Disi. And under each chakra, we have the variations. And there is endless possibility to appreciate this chakra, and then we can speak about this chakra alone for several hours. So a lot of interpretations can be done using this chakra. So you can see different color patterns. So it is very easy to remember. In fact, these stalwarts, they have also come out with a easy formula. So I'm not going to take much time, but I will mention the keyword. Probably you can Google and then find out. So they have something known as Kadapayati Sutra. The Kadapayati Sutra is also used in certain other what is that concepts. So for example, even in Ayurveda, they use this word. So primarily this Kadapayati, so using the Kadapayati Sutra, you will be able to remember. So by identifying the raga name, you will know at what chakra it is falling. And once you know the chakra, then you will be able to figure out what are all the notes. So at the moment you know the notes, and if you have a keyboard, immediately you can start playing it. Because so once you know whether it is a Re1 or Re2 or a Ma1 or Ma2, then it is easy for you to understand. So sometimes you may not know the name of the raga, but the moment you hear the what is that if you know the actual name of the Melakatta raga, so from there it is easily possible to find out the notes. So to accommodate that, they have done a little bit of variations in the name. For example, the Kalyani is a very common name, but as per this Melakatta raga chart, they call it as Mecha Kalyani, because the first 2 syllables are important to crack the number of the raga in the Melakatta list. So probably you can Google more and then try to understand more. So right now I am not going in depth about the Kadapayadi formula. Okay. Now I am saying that I already told that the 7 ragas with different kind of permutations, you have 72 ragas. So actually, is it mandatory that all ragas should have 6, 7 notes? No, it need not be. For example, there are some ragas which will have just 6 swaras or 5 swaras. For example, and from these 72 Melakattas, if you drop some notes, drop some swaras, you will get a different kind of ragas, which are called the Janya ragas. So these are all called the parent ragas, or the whatever ragas derived from these ragas are called the Janya ragas or child ragas. For example, if you drop one note, then it is known as Audava raga. Just 5 notes will be there in both Aravanam and Avravanam. And there are some geniuses who are probably at this point of time, some of you may have a question. So is it possible to identify a raga? What is that? Invent a raga. So inventing a new raga may not be possible because it is all permutation combination, but you can discover a raga. So probably what does it mean? The raga may be already there, but you are going to discover that raga by different permutation combinations, and then you can give a name. So if there are no kritis, no songs are already available, generally the songs and kritis are combined by composed by the stalwarts. So if there are no popular songs are there, it is possible for you to discover a raga by different permutation combinations. For example, if you take a genius like Balamurali Krishna, he has been able to come out with the different ragas, and in fact, with 3 swaras, he was able to come out with a raga. This raga is known as Makati. And if you remember the Tamil film called Apurva Ragangal, so the song which is a highlight of Dr. Jesdas, Adisaya Ragam, Ananda Ragam. This particular song, actually it is a Rakamaliga, which means the ragams are changing for Pallavi, Anupallavi, and Charanam. But for the very first Pallavi, he starts with this raga called Magati. Actually, there is an interesting anecdote for this particular raga. So this is actually a movie by Dr. what is that director K. Balachandran. So since this title of this movie is called Apurva Ragangal, he asked the composer M.S. Viswanathan to come out with a very new raga, Apurva Raga. So and then he was trying different combinations. He was trying to explore different rare ragas. At that point of time, then he tried to. At that point of time, he met Dr. Balamurali Krishna. Then Dr. Balamurali Krishna came out with this raga. With 3 swaras, they have composed this raga. So ragas need not have all the 7 notes. So it can have 5, 6 swaras, 5 swaras, or 3 swaras. And always, I already mentioned this. To ni, it is in ascending order. A particular raga need not always have ascending order or descending order in a uniform pattern. You can always have what is that sinus? What is that? I can say that you can go up and then come down. You can go up and come down. So these are all called Vakra ragas. That means we are not having a uniform pattern. But whereas the 72 Melakarta ragas, they have all 7 notes and they are all in proper order. So from Sa to Ni, it will be an ascending order in the Aroganam and descending order in the Avroganam. So they are, that's why they are called Sampurna ragas or perfect ragas. But whereas the Janya ragas, there are different numerous possibilities are there with by variation and the number of swaras or the pattern. The pattern itself can be up and down kind of stuff. So they are called Vakra ragas. So there are different ways of naming the ragas. So at this point of time, I'll take a pause and probably I will stop sharing. If you have any questions, then we'll take it and then proceed further. Any questions so far? How many of you have learned Carnatic music? Or are you able to recall what is that? Connect with me. Any questions or comments? So if the audio can be unmuted, you can ask a question or you can use the chat window.
So you said some ragas as less swaras,
Correct.
like 3, 5. Can you give one note on that?
Yeah. So I am going to demonstrate a very popular raga called Hindolam. The Hindolam has got 5 swaras. So it is not having 7 swaras. And I'll also explain you the Hindola raga, how by replacing the Gandharam with another Gandharam, you get a different raga. And the raga color and the pattern will totally, the mood will be totally different. And by changing the, what is that, Daivatam or Nishadam, again you get, so from Hindolam we will get 4 different ragas. So they are all have ragas not having 7 swaras. I'll explain in the next few slides. Any other question?
Sir, we have received 2 questions from audience.
Yes, sir.
So one question you have already answered. Why December season, not October or February or any other month for music? You have already answered in your introduction. The next question is, what are all the influence of ragas on our human brain?
Okay. So people say that by singing this raga, you will get, what is that, depression will come down or blood pressure can come down or headache can be cured. So these are all purely subjective to my knowledge. To my knowledge, it is all subjective because I have listened to some of the great musicians. So these are all, no, people used to say like a hearsay. So to my knowledge, there is no clinical evidence or in a structured way. No, when you have to do research, you should have a what is that conditioned group and unconditioned group. So to my knowledge, I don't think they are all clinically proven. But people say that this raga is, so that is all. And but definitely there are ragas associated with the different timings and mood. For example, morning you say Bhupalam is appropriate. So Bhupalam, many of you would have heard. For example, I'm unable to recall. So Bhupalam is supposed to be sung in the early morning, and for example, At the night, you have to sing Nilambari. So these are all by through practice, or that is what how we are heard. And there are also some ragas associated with the what is that different rasas. So we call it as navarasas, hasyam, viram, and then happiness, then disgust. So there are 9 different rasas, and each rasa has got associated with a specific raga. But people also have disproved that a particular rasa need not be limited to particular rasa. For example, there is a raga called Subhabandhu Virali. Subhabandhu Virali is associated with pathos, right? Whenever you want to sing a soga song that is a sad mood, you sing Subhabandhu Virali. But since this topic is all about Tamil film music, I can say that Ilayaraja has composed a song. I think I'm unable to recollect the name of the movie, but the song is Guru Shishan, I guess. Kandabudiche, Kadal Noye, Kandabudiche. So this is something close to Subhabandhu Virali. Maybe a slight variation may be there. But actually, this is a Soga Raga. But he has used this for actually the hero is trying to sing to just what is that? Ajoli's friend, so who is in a romantic mood. So he is trying to create that romantic mood by singing this song. So it is not actually a duet song, but he has used it. So if people want, they can take a particular raga and break the myth. But otherwise, generally, for example, there is a raga called Atana. So whenever we want to sing something very, very bold or the lyrics, sometimes the lyrics will say, for example, so this is a popular song where Tyagaraja is talking about the Veera aspect of Lord Rama. So that is where he is trying to use the raga called Atana. So Atana is supposed to be the way it is sung. So it is demonstrating the Veera rasa. There are some songs, ragas like Kapi. They are all very, very melodic in nature. So the moment you use that particular raga, that particular rasa is created. So this rasa will create the mood amongst the audience. So that is very much important. So those most of the songs, the Carnatic music songs, are all towards God. There is also another aspect you have to render it towards to appeal the audience. So it is very much essential to connect with the audience, and to do that you have to create that mood. So that is why the raga selection or song selection is important. So actually I forgot one thing. So there is a gentleman called musical stalwart called Ariyakudi Ramanujayengar. Ariyakudi Ramanujayengar is actually a President Award winner way back in 40s or 50s. So almost some 60 years back, he said that prior to that, people used to sing songs like in a random fashion. So there is no structure for a concert. So structure for a concert, mostly like no, Devaram Tiruvasam, they are all sung with that bhakti in mind. So there is no very specific structure. If you see the Carnatic music, we have something known as Varnam, we have something known as Kriti, then Kirtanai, then Tillana, then we have something known as Ragam, Tanam, Pallavi. There are different pieces, and Ariyakudi Ramanujayengar came out with something known as Kacheri Pattadi. Kacheri Pattadi means how to have proper structure so that the Rachikas are able to listen throughout the concert. So he tried to give, so between the first piece and second piece, there will be variation in ragas, variation in the speed. So all that, so he was able, for example, the very first piece of a concert will be with the Varna. So primarily it is like an icebreaker. So you will try to warm up the audience, and then the second piece will start with a lower tempo. So that is how they are all structured. So that is what I want to share here. Any other questions, or shall we move on?
We can go ahead, sir. There is no other question. So
Sure. So I think one madam from the audience asked whether can you give an example of ragas which are having less than 7 notes. For example, Indolam is a very popular song which is used by a lot of musicians, their music directors, even in movies. So, for example, in a movie called Sankarabaranam, there is a popular song called Samajavaragamana. So this is also a Carnatic song, which is set in Hindola Raga. So here we don't have the Panchamam, and the Rishabham. Rishabham and Panchamam are not there. So starting with Sajjam, Gandharam, Madhyamam, Daivatam, Nishadam. And again again we have Sajjamam. This is actually the Sajjamam of the top scale, the Tarasthai Sajjamam. And once you sing the top Sajjamam, again you come back. Just a minute. I'll also ask someone to demonstrate this. So my wife, I have not formally learned music, though I show a lot of interest towards understanding music, and I have come out with a book. But basically, I have not learned music. So I'll ask my wife to just to demonstrate how this raga can be sung. So by what is that? Either play the keyboard or she will sing. So Jayanti, you can come and sit here. Yeah.
Welcome, madam.
Hi.
Good evening.
What are you saying?
No, it's okay. You want to see them?
No,
So
that's
Google Meet, it's difficult.
Yeah. You need to demonstrate this.
So you just explain. Be louder.
Yeah. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, madam.
Yes, yes.
So what we did was we tried to take an Audava Raga, what he was telling 5 swaras, and then try to demonstrate this. What he is showing is Hindolam. Maybe you're all familiar with the Ragam Hindolam. So there's an app called Harmonium.
So it is easy to demonstrate using a keyboard. So the oldest version of keyboard is our own harmonium. So harmonium has evolved into keyboard. So you can see the keyboard here, and there are 3 octaves. And for example, the Sajjam is starting here, our regular scale. So otherwise, this is the lower scale, and this is the upper scale. So this is where the up to sa to ni scales are there. So just by playing sa, ga, ma, da, ni, sa, she'll be able to demonstrate Hindola Raga. And after that, by changing the Gandharam into different Gandharam, again you will get a new Raga. So the pattern is same, but only thing, the variations of the Gandharam, Madhyamam, Daivatam will be different. So is it audible? Keyboard? Volume.
No. Not audible.
So you can also sing.
Ramadani sa So as you can see, I'm just going to change.
So now this, if you see the graph, visually I am demonstrating. So everything remains same. So the ga alone varies. Instead of ga 1, now we are going to have ga 2. So that will give you a totally a different name of the raga as well as a different flavor of the raga.
This is just changing the frequency.
Yeah. So primarily the frequency are changing. All remain same. Only the Gandhara changes, and the new name of the raga is called the Surya or Sallabam. So generally this raga is popular in Kerala.
So the ga changes. Rest all is sung. Sagamadani Sasamidama Sasagamaras.
So now we are going to retain Hindolam, but we are going to change the Daivatam. So if you see the Daivatam Hindolam, the Da one is used, but in the third variation, we are going to change the Daivatam. You get a different raga called the Varamu.
the Hindolam da was the.
This is Hindolam da, but now for Varamu we are changing the next key. By changing the key and repeatedly we will be using the different keys, so the raga flavor is totally different. Then the last,
show that raga.
The last one we are trying to change the nishadam. So for example, the Hindolam, the nishada is nishada 2, but here now we are moving towards nishada 3.
Hindolam nishadam is, but Chandrakaun's nishadam is.
So Chandrakaun's is actually very popular Hindustani raga, but it is also to some extent it is used in Carnatic music, and cine directors have extensively used it. For example, the yesterday's song "Maalai Poludin." So this is the yesterday's version of Chandrakaun's. The same raga is used by Ilayaraja way back in the 80s. நானாக நான் இல்லை தாயே நல்வாழ்வு தந்தாயே நீயே. So the same raga handled by different the directors. So this is how you can find out the different patterns of the raga by changing the variation. And this is what I have brought out in this book. Around 1,800 songs we are classified into 160 ragas, and then these for each raga I have given the scale, that is the Aroganam, Avroganam. So it is almost like a handbook. So I have not published the Kindle version. So in 2023 I'm planning to bring out that Kindle version, and the moment it is available I'll share that with the entire team. So otherwise I have a very limited printed copy because it was printed way back in 2005. Okay. So now coming back to the film music, so these are all some of the doyens of Tamil film music who have extensively used all genres. So they try to get inspiration from Hindustani music, Western music, Carnatic music. For example, K.V. Mahadevan, so he is called as Mama, and then Vishwanathan Ramamurthy and our own Ilayaraja and A.R. Rahman. So up to A.R. Rahman, I could see that they were able to bring out a lot of songs with Carnatic music background. So I'll play some of the ragas. In the last 20 years, I could not find out such kind of raga-based songs. So that's why I have not shown much interest. So up to Rahman's period, we could see a lot of raga-based songs. I'll play some of them. I have downloaded them and I'll try to play them. So I think if you know what is that, if you are able to hear it, please let me know. I'm not planning to. Are you able to hear that audio?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not playing the video because the Google or what is that, YouTube will not accept it due to copyright violation. I'll play this song for a minute or so. I'll stop here. Any guess? Can anyone figure out what is this raga? If someone has got some basic idea about Carnatic music, they can figure out the raga name. So it is actually Kalyani. Now the same Kalyani, how the other music directors have played. Let us see here.
வந்து ஏக்குது கையில் வராமலே நமது கதை புது கவிதை இலக்கணங்கள் இதற்கு இல்லை
So that is from Ilayaraja. So again, same Kalyani Raga, but if you compare Mananundanadi and this song, totally two different genres. So because of the lyrics and because the way it is composed, but basically the connecting raga is Kalyani. So if you understand if you try to codify the song into swaras, the swaras will not have any variations. So these are all what is that? Generally, the yesteryear's music directors, when they take a raga, for example, Mananundanadi, you cannot find any foreign notes. So the foreign notes are called in Tamil, it is called Anya Swarangal. So whatever is allowed in Kalyani Raga, that is what will be used in the song. But later, for example, when you start having Raja's era, he started trying to mix up a few ragas. So primarily, the basic idea is music director wants to impress upon the audience by trying to bring in a different kind of flavor. So unlike Carnatic music, the music directors of film music, they have the liberty to blend something, right? For example, all of a sudden some foreign note will be there, or all of a sudden the raga itself will be shifted. For example, if you sing one Kalyani Kriti of Tyagaraja Kriti, so Tyagaraja has defined that particular song and particular raga, and there were innumerable disciples of Tyagarajas who have Kriti. Even sometimes some popular Kritis are used in film music. The genuine music lovers will say that he has spoiled it, so it is not sticking to the original grammar or something like that. For example, Samarajamara Gamana is actually a song by Tyagaraja, which is used in film called Sankarabarna. And many people like it, but there are Puritans who say that it is not the way it was, it has to be sung. But here the music director has got no limitation, so he has got the freedom to mix ragas because he is not claiming that this raga is, he never says that this raga is purely Kalyani or something like that. It is not branded. So most of the time when we talk about film music, we will say who has composed it and who are the singers. We never say to what raga it belongs to. So that is why they use the liberty. And let me play one more Kalyani from again Raja. So generally, when you listen to the different songs of same raga, you will be able to identify the, even for the first time, if you listen to 5 songs from Kalyani Raga, initially it may look different because the bass Shruti will be different. The bass Shruti of the singer will be different. So you may think that this is a different raga, but after listening to for some time, then you will be able to understand that all are part of Kalyani Raga. And when you attend a concert, even if it is an unknown song, you will be able to find out, oh, this is Kalyani Raga because some similar song I have heard from Tamil film music. Whether we like it or not, the chances of hearing film music is more because it is being played in radio, it is being played in TV channels. So if you want to appreciate Carnatic music, Cine music will be a fantastic tool. So that is why when I wrote this book, I used to say that this will be helping more for the Carnatic music lovers than the Cine music lover because they will be able to appreciate different ragas, and they'll be able to appreciate different kind of ragas. So now, once again, one more Kalyani I'll play. This is from Rahman. So you can see the flavor of it.
இறைவா இறைவா தாயும் நீ தந்தையும் நீயே உயிரும் நீயே உண்மையும் நீயே தாயும் நீ தந்தையும் நீயே உயிரும் நீயே உண்மையும் நீயே.
So you will, now I think you will be able to appreciate how each of the music director comes a different flavor of the same raga. So though the name is, what is that, notes are remaining same, each one is trying to play around and then try to bring out a different kind of flavors. So let me also play. So apart from Kalyani, I'll also play a few more ragas. For example, this song, Pani Vidum Malarvalam. So this raga is called the Chalanatai.
உன் பார்வை ஒருவரம் பணிவிடும் மலர்வனம் உன் பார்வை ஒருவரம் இனிவரும் முனிவரும் தடுமாறும் கனிமரம்.
And one more. So this raga is called Nalina Kanti. So like that, there are several songs from Tamil film music which have the Carnatic musical aspect, and there are some wrong songs which are totally engrossed with that particular raga, but there are some songs where you have blend of Carnatic music as well as Western music. So it is a combination of all kind of genre. So there are songs which can be immediately identified. Yes, this is a classical song. So that is what I have just shown a couple of examples. Now let me talk about the other aspect. I think. Okay, so why Chennai? I think why December I already explained. Okay, now this raga identification. So if you see the role of technologies today, the artificial intelligence and the machine learning is extensively used in several universities to identify raga. First of all, why do we have to identify raga? The moment someone is singing a particular song, Vanavyala Kincha or Banduriti Kulu, so we know that it is Kriti of Tyagaraja, and if you refer to the Tyagaraja's book, we can identify the raga names. But sometimes you may not be familiar with the lyrics. You might now never heard that particular song, but still the Carnatic Rasikas, they want to crack that raga. So the reason is they get all the dopamine, the happy chemicals are generated in the brain. So that kind gives some kind of a ego. Right? Yes, I'm able to crack this raga, though I have never heard this raga. So that is a kind of a habit when the modern music lovers go and attend a concert, because most of the concerts, the raga or song names are not divulged in advance. But today there are some singers who print it out and then distribute in advance, or sometimes they announce the details of the particular song, piece of song before they sing the song. But generally in a traditional concert, they will what is that? They will never divulge all the details, and it is a kind of exercise for the audience to identify the raga or even tala. So the tala is another aspect which we are not covered today. They try to identify the tala as well as raga and then share it with like-minded people. But why at all now? So because of that interest, many people have started showing interest in putting technology into use to identify the ragas. And as I said, the major differentiation between Hindustani music and Carnatic music compared to Western music is here a lot of spontaneity is there. So all of a sudden they will use the phrase, though it may be Kalyani or Kambodi or Hindolam, the artist will use a different kind of, it is like a painting, right? So if you ask an artist to paint a particular natural scenery, so each day you will be using different kind of strokes. And by that, it is very difficult for if you take a Western piece, then immediately you can codify that and then identify what genre it belongs to. But in a Carnatic music, it is very difficult to identify the what is that? Do the reverse engineering and identify the ragas. That is where now technology is being put into use. So by, for example, if you take a particular raga, Kannada, so if there are 100, what is that? Songs which are part of Kannada, then you have 100 songs which are part of Kalyani, and then if you use your machine learning algorithm to, if you train it, then probably the system will be able to identify when an unknown song is given. So it will be able to identify that. And there are several techniques used, and I will share a couple of research articles at the end of this session in a group, or probably I think it may be difficult to share it here as a document. I'm not a technocrat to understand the coding and other aspects, but definitely I'll share some of the screens here. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
One Mr. Sridhar Ravikoti, he has done an article, and each one is using different kind of what is that approach to identify the ragas. So, but to my knowledge, whatever the research has undergone, it has not come out with 100% result. So most of the research summary says this model has got 80% accuracy or 60% accuracy or something like that. Because still, I think because every second that pattern will vary. So the system has to identify different kind of patterns and then try to compare and then try to make its own intelligence. I'll share some of the articles here. So I wanted to talk about this, but I'm not a knowledgeable person in terms of the technology aspect, but definitely I'll be able to share several articles on this. So let me come back to this. On technology front, one more piece I would like to demonstrate. So actually I have got an instrument. So again, I'll take the help of my wife Jayanti. She will demonstrate. So one particular person called this person, the person actually is a technology person. I think he is from IIT Madras. I'm unable to recollect his name. He has come out with the what is that? Several musical instruments using electronics as a background. So he has come out with the electronic tambura, electronic thala meter. So this company is called Radal. Have you heard about Radal? It's a Bangalore-based company. Electronic tambura, electronic veena, electronic harmonium. So using his brain, he has come out with several products. But we are really fascinated with this particular piece of what is that product called Radal Swaravali. Radal Swaravali is basically a trainer. So I cannot call it as an alternative to the regular trainer. For example, a guru cannot be replaced with this instrument, but it can definitely supplement the functionalities of the guru. So now Jayanti will demonstrate some of the key features. So definitely some of you will be very interested to know more about it, and you can also contribute on this line. So 1 minute, Jayanti would like to see the audience before we proceed further.
So nobody's in the meeting.
Shall we go back to screen?
This is a trainer that I Yeah, they didn't hear. This is the trainer that I've been using.
Are you able to see this instrument in the camera? This instrument, small box. Swaravali.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has got multiple buttons and all that. Very simple to handle. The middle button is the one that you need to start with. Where you press whichever Shruti you have, you need to start. Before that, we need to switch on it. Once you switch on, like a regular Shruti box, everybody are aware of this Tampura Shruti box and all that. So once you press this, it is this. This is a typical Shruti box that we used to have in our 70s, 80s. So this is
Electronic
how it
version.
is. And when you want to practice, you see a button start, stop. In the screen, it's very visible actually.
This one.
When I start doing it, it will play the Sarali Versa where I have already tuned it. Now I have tuned this to the basic Maya Mala Gola where every kid learns as a beginner.
Sarali Varsi is basically the ABC of Carnatic music. Every student in the very first class, they will sing Sari Ga Ma Pa. So the Sarali Varsi. Then we have variations in the Sarali Varsi and the different speeds, then different verses. They have to practice that. So then only you will be comfortable in singing different octaves, different scales or pitches. So these are all basic essential elements.
So I'm singing in G sharp, which is 5.5. You have what is called the metronome. I don't know how many of you are aware of this Tala meter. So this is the drone metronome. The beat comes in the regular cycle. So I just want to explain one thing. You have first speed, second speed, third speed. What all variations, permutation, combination can this instrument do is that first it can sing or it can play in multiple pitches. Pitches are nothing but the Shruti, you have those different katte that we call. So those pitches can be tuned. The tone can be tuned. I want to sing in a sharp tone. Or if I have a male singer, he can sing in a lower bass tone. So the tone can be altered. Now, if I'm playing an instrument where it has to be in the lower speed, I can alter the speed as well. I'll just demonstrate the speed with the normal thing. So I can't be saying the same thing. If I say Sarali Versa, it will play the first lesson, second lesson, third lesson in a consecutive way. I don't have to fine tune anything of it. But as a teacher, as a student, what we have learned is that first thing you need to sing in the first speed. The same Sarali Versa has to be sung in the second speed. The same in the multiples of 4 in the third speed. So 1, 2x, 4x. X is the first speed. So I can do this by grouping. I want to sing continuously, not pressing this box after I learned to some extent. That is what I'm going to demonstrate the first and the second lesson alone.
Please unmute. It is muted. You are muted. Please unmute.
Still muted, sir.
Yeah. Please
Sundararaman,
unmute.
sir.
How long?
Now it's okay. Okay.
So were you able to listen to that features of the instrument?
No. You have to repeat because it was muted that time.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, don't put it on the table. Let's see this. Okay, let me repeat again. This is the instrument that I'm holding. It can do multiple jobs, meaning that those who know music knows about the talam. This is a tala meter where it helps you to understand the talam, and I can sing in 3 speeds. If X is the first speed, I can sing in 2X, then I can sing in 4X as well. Along with this, usually without this, you are asked to sing, but this helps you or fine-tunes you or brings into that rhythm or pattern. Again, the basic lessons are called Sarali Varsai, Janda Varsai, Alangaram. These are multiple combinations of those 7 Sara notes that he was explaining, where I'm just going to sing only the Sarali Versa in 3 speeds. If I don't want 3 speeds, I want everything to be in first speed. For example, now if it is sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. The next one is sa re sa re sa re. If I want to continuously play lesson 1, lesson 2, that is also possible. Now, no, I don't want to do it. I want to train my voice. So in that case, I can sing Sarigama Padanisa in first speed, second speed, and third speed using this instrument, which I'm just going to demonstrate right now.
So
So I'm just-
basically, as I said earlier, it is just augmenting the trainer's service. So you need the guru, but you cannot be at the guru's house like those days. You cannot be there as a Gurukulam student. So the moment you finish the class, you can come and use this instrument and then sing along with the instrument. So it is primarily helping you to stick to the timing, right? Kala Pramanam as well as the Shruti. So for any musician, the Shruti is very important. If you deviate from Shruti, which is known as called Abaswaram or Abashruti, and the timing is also important. For both of them, it gives a guidance.
Yeah, I'm just playing. So first you need to switch on the switch. Next, you have to play the Shruti. Then you have to press the start stop button. It will keep on playing only the first lesson. So I have to say, hey, come on, play the second lesson, third lesson. I should also say, group everything, the first speed, second speed, and the third speed, and start playing. So I'm going to group it, all the swaras in the Sarli versa and play it. So this button has to be pressed 3 times and then group it. Now listen, where I'm going to sing the Sarli versa, the first lesson in 3 speeds. Now, if I'm not able to sing in this speed, I can also reduce the tempo, but I want to demonstrate in this speed. I'm just moving on to the next lesson. This is how it is tuned. So why the second speed is sung twice? Why is the third speed is sung 4 times? Is that to complete one cycle of thala. So one cycle of thala is sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. If I have to, for this one cycle, I have to sing twice to complete this thala. I have to sing 4 times if I'm singing in the third speed.
So the next important feature here is the permutation combination. So we have mentioned about 7 swaras. So this instrument can handle only the Sampurna Ragas, that is the 72 Melakatas. But each raga, we want to, what is that? You have to use your imagination to come out with the different kind of phrases. But this is possible using this instrument. So it will randomly pick and then it will play different swaras, but within the framework. So for example, if you choose Maya Malagola as the raga, it will randomly select phrases and then sing. But once you are comfortable singing along with the instrument, it is also easy for you to do that. Yeah, that is. Just to play
So
that.
Melakatta is nothing but it's a Thai raga. Everything, all the 7 notes will be there. So the challenge is that you cannot play a raga which has got lesser than 7 notes. If it's 5 or 6 or 4, this instrument cannot be used. You cannot skip the swara. That's what I mean. So you should have all the 7 swaras, which is there only in the Melakatta. So here there's something called pattern. If I want to know if there's something called Kalpana Sura, where
that is the spontaneity aspect I already mentioned.
so like Kataswaram. That is the usual lesson. But I want to go Sare, Sama, Sapa. If I want to have some different patterns for my throat to understand or how to fall into that particular note, there's something called pattern. And since I'm using Maya Malagola, I just have to go and then recall that pattern. There's a pattern here. But none of the teachers will approve of it because this is very harmonical. For noise or those who want to improve their vocal cord singing with the training, this is really approved, but it's not available.
Initially, I was talking about the gamakam aspect. So here, the gamakam is not explicit. So it is all plain notes. So it is all, what is that? Very flat notes are there. So generally, the gurus never, what is that, support this concept. So they want to learn from the person in person. But definitely, this will be a fantastic aid to improve your vocal variety. But the unfortunate thing is this company has stopped producing this. Probably since a lot of technocrats are available here, some of you can understand the concept of this mission trainer and then come out with a mobile version of it. You can come out with a mobile app. Huge potential may be there. And by the way, Jayanti is a musician come dancer, and she's the disciple of Chitra Visheshwaran. And I have learned all my music from my family members, though I have not formally learned, but I have come out with a book long time back. So let me see.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So with that, I'll conclude here. Any questions or any specific thing that has already been mentioned in the chat window? I'm unable to see the chat window.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the opportunity for higher studies in Carnatic music available in India and foreign?
So actually, there are reputed universities which are offering courses. For example, Madras Music Academy is offering advanced level of Carnatic music. Then we have the music university, Jaya Music University. I think right now the Dr. Somia is the vice chancellor. Then we have Annamalai University, which are offering music courses. But most of the students who pursue these kind of courses from these universities, they tend to go as a teacher, right? So they take it as a profession. But if you want to be a full-time musician, so these kind of courses need not be there. So you can take what is that rigorous practice from a reputed guru. And today, a lot of young generation, they are doing a tremendous job, especially the non-resident Indians. So actually, totally, I am taken aback. A lot of youngsters, they practice so well, and then they totally mesmerize the audience. So otherwise, so it depends. So whether you want to become a teacher and then get a regular income, or you want to become a performer and storm the world.
Yeah. How about the research in Carnatic music available? What are the opportunities, and what is the entrance clearance of NET? Is it mandatory to do a PhD in Carnatic music?
Yeah, actually, I think there are two ways. One is suppose if you want to talk about the academic aspect of Carnatic music, that is which is called as musicology. For example, you can take a research, do a research about the Trinity's life, or you can talk about the Tamil Devaram or Tiruvasakam. So that is one kind of research. Then the other aspect is the technology-based research. For example, how to do raga identification. So I'll share some of the research papers here. Then you'll get to know about it. These kind of people, they don't have only some of the team members will have some music background, but with the help of their professors and others, they're able to. So primarily the genre is more towards technology. For example, using AI, ML, or your voice synthesis. Or today even I'm also today I have come across FB post saying that today AI is trying to come out with paintings, right? So the popular oil paintings. So the artificial intelligence is trying to come out with paintings, and the Popular Painters Association, they are all opposing it, because what it does is, so if you take 1,000 painters, so the system will study all the, it will scan everything and then put it in a memory, and you just give a comment saying that, hey system, I want a drawing with natural scenery, with the sun and then bird or something like that. So it will take all the best of everything and then draw the painting within few minutes. So which is the painters say that this is nothing but a different form of plagiarism, right? You are trying to copy it. So by using technology, so probably tomorrow even some new songs will be composed without any manual intervention, and again there will be some kind of resistance. But a lot of activities are going towards raga identification, identifying the pattern. So I will definitely share some of them after this call to Mr. Mohan and others. So
Music Academy is providing some support for researchers. Music Academy at
yeah,
Chennai.
so that kind of research, you have to be a full-time musician. So Music Academy. But whereas if you take the institutions like IIT Madras or VIT, so the electronic students or computer science students with a little bit of music knowledge, the technology aspect, they can do research. But when you talk about the exclusive academic research, you have to be a full-time musician. You should have completed a
they are giving fellowship for people who are doing research also. Music Academy.
I think
Sir, one more thing. How can I'm a Veena player. How can I collaborate with the machine learning who doing in NIT or IIT? How can I take that into a next level with the machine learning?
So I think by using Google Scholar, try to find out who are all working in this space, find out the universities, and then talk to the guides, because guide will so the same topic, with a little bit of variation, they will be doing multiple PhD theses. So I think instead of the actual scholars, if you talk to the professors, they will be able to accommodate you in one of the groups. So definitely they will need some kind of domain expertise, because the students may, unless the students are already trained in music, most of them, they are all from technical background, but they will definitely need a person with musical knowledge. They will be able to accommodate it.
Okay.
Any other question? So I think I'll share these papers, and you can also go to Google Scholar and find out papers with today's a little bit of introduction and basic understanding about what is swaras and what are all the variations. So I think the jargons you should be now familiar to some extent, and it will be easy for you to, when you go through the research paper, then you will be able to appreciate, and then you will be able to take it forward further. So in that context, I think today's session may be useful for you. So with that, let me conclude here, and let me hand over the podium back to Mr. Mohan. What do you say?
Excellent presentation, sir. So given us an overview about ragas. In fact, the explanation was so nice, and also combining along with the certain note. See, basically, people are quite familiar with some of the music songs. Trying to sort of explain things with the known facts, is always very useful, and it reinforces the learning process. So thank you. And
thank you all.
Maithili, would you like to take over?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here. Actually, we are very much impressed about your presentation. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Sundararaman, sir. We get to know so many things through your presentation. The uniqueness of Indian classical music, and about that good answer for everybody why they chose December for a music festival. It's there in everybody's mind. Why not December? Maybe because of no marriages that time will be, they are engaging music academic and everywhere, so all will be free like that. But it is explanation given by you is the right one, and very excellent answer. And we get to know so many things from your presentation about Sudhi fixing and Avaroganam, and that Malakatta chart, that is also new to us, and also about ragas with less swaras, and ragas associate with ragams, that is very rasas associate with ragam. Then different flavor of ragas in movie song, which makes us to easily understanding about that ragas without a basic swaram, there is no songs. That was very much impressed, and our sincere thanks to Mrs. Sundararaman also for helping us to understand by her demonstrating ragas. Thank you, madam. And Mr. Chandrasekharan, info carrier.
Chandrasekharan. Yeah, I think we can ask Mr. Chandrasekharan, who is also present. Chandra.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt, I'll take one more minute. Actually, sir, just a minute. So actually, Vishnu Priya was asking about the academic research. So actually, if you want to know more about the research and the theory aspect of it during this music season, both Music Academy as well as Patsari Sabha. Apart from the concerts, then we have something known as a lecture demonstration. Every day morning between 8 to 10, lecture demonstration is happening on multiple topics. For example, at Music Academy, the mini hall every day it is happening. So I think it will go on for next few weeks. Similar thing is also happening in Patsari Swami Sabha, and all the titles are titles of the lecture demonstration. They are mentioned in the newspaper or in the engagement column. So if it is of your interest, you can go and attend it. So that is to know more about the musical aspect of it.
Yeah, thanks for your information.
Chandra, can you come over?
Yeah. Very good evening to all.
Yeah, my video on. Yeah. So these, in fact, actually, we started this music-related presentations during his chairmanship.
Yes, sir. Yes, he is the one introduced.
He is the one introduced us to why not we have something music during the music season, some presentation. So
Almost
actually,
every year he is only organizing.
Yeah.
In fact, today's lecture was very, very interesting and very apt at this point of time because, in fact, I always busy during this period with all the sabhas. I have a pass for almost all the sabhas. Whether I go or not, but I love to have it because one of the points you have mentioned about there's no what we call them as connection between the ragas and the emotional feelings. For some people, some of the ragas are really, really help them to enjoy. It's a question of only enjoyment. As you rightly mentioned, there's no objectivity study made. Subjectivity study with the one which says that, And in fact, yesterday, there was a Trishur brothers in Narada Sabha, 4 to 7, and followed by Abhishek Gurugram. Trishur brother, when he sung Kapi Raga, I really cried. And which shows that, how Raga can do with you. And Abhishek is way apart. Somebody has to do some courses to understand Abhishek. And that's the level of his expertise. Having said that, the elementary lessons which you gave us today really helped us to understand some more deep. Still, I came to know what I do not know and what I need to know. That's, even though I have little expertise in that whole thing, but still, it's a very good initiative by CSI. Any Carnatic music related program, you can count on Info Carrier for sponsorship.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, I mentioned that there is no scientific study has been done, but definitely I have come to know that not only it has made an impact on human being, but even the animals. For example, in Goshala, so many Goshalas they play melodious music, and it has been
the milk
that they are able to
quantum of milk, what they give more. We have seen that. There are
lot of reports are there. And they enjoy, even I have seen a couple of videos, the person who is singing a flute, and immediately around 50 and odd cows, they immediately come back and then assemble. So I think we talk about Lord Krishna. So all these things should be definitely be real truths.
Thanks a lot, sir. Really, I really loved it. And please continue to do the work, whatever you are doing. And more than anything, this passion will help others to do the whole thing is concerned. And your wife's voice is very good. And I can understand, and she should be able to manage to practice a little more. And because practice is the one in music makes you. Today we talk about Sanjay, we talk about Ranjini Gayatri, talks about Abhishek. But the amount of hard work, please remember, they all eat, drink, sleep, only what's up called ragas. And, so one of the important lessons for all the learners, if you want to make music as your life, you have to live that music. You should start thinking music, you start speaking music. Then only you can get expertise. Thanks a lot, sir. Mohan, sir, thanks a lot for giving an opportunity. Maidili ma'am, once again, thanks a lot
Yes.
for this.
Yeah, we have to thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chandra,
Thanks
for
a
the
lot.
support.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Happy New Year.
Thanks
All
for
of-
the
Thank you.
joining
Thank you, sir.
society.
Thank you, Dr. Sundar. So,
Thank you, Mohanji.
Yes.
Yeah.
very
Thank
nice.
you,
So
madam.
let us
Happy
Thanks
New
for
Year.
the participants.
let us continue our relation. Something. No, we can repeat some of our programs.
Sure, sir.
And, some innovations we can try to bring in, make something entertaining because music unites people. No.
Of course. Maybe
Okay.
offline program also we can organize.
Yes.
It will be
Once
more.
once we are ready, we can plan to have some physical event.
Yes. Yes.
That will bring more sort of emotional contact, connection.
Yes. Yes.
Sure, sir. Absolutely.
Very
Game
good.
product. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks everyone. Thanks all the participants and.
Can we have regards to madam?
Sure,
Can we have
sure.
regards to madam?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Stop panela,
Yes.
madam. Stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, sir. Sakti, anything?
No link, sir. Stop it.
Okay. Your previous Edgar,
Yes, sir.